Yes. Today we will continue where we stopped. Now today we are going to discuss about the box model. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, the box model. Let me just quickly share a graphic with you. Let's see. Because that will give us a very good idea of what we want to discuss. Now, the box model. Can you see my screen? Now, if you remember, I said that every element, they are in form of rectangle, right? With the border, this border, and the content inside there, the content, right? Now, and they can be either below or above another element or right beside another element. Now, if you want to create a space between two elements, right, you use a margin. For example, let's say initially we have a DVA, or let me say a span, and we have another span here, and you want to push these two span tags away from each other. So you can use your margin to push them away from each other. So by doing this, you have created more margin here. So margin is right outside the boundary of the border. This is the border, right? So just like I described here, that's the rectangle, the line on that rectangle is the border. You can decide to increase the width or the height of this border if you so desire. Now, what is the padding? The padding creates space between the border, this border, and the actual content. This is a content within the element tag. So you can either have border at the top, border at the right, at the bottom, and the left. Similarly, you can have sorry, I said border padding at the top, right, bottom, and left. Similarly, you can have border at the top, right, bottom, and left also. And it also is applicable to margin. Margin top, margin right, margin bottom, and margin left. Now, as you can see from here, that the content is just the content of the box where the text and images appear. Whereas the padding clears an area, this area here, this space here, all these spaces, clears an area around the content. The padding is transparent. Now, talking about the border, a border that goes around the padding and the content. You know, this is the padding and the content. We are going to demonstrate it after this, so we will see it physically. Now, the margin also clears an area outside the border. Remember, I said this is your border. This is outside the border. This is within the border, and this padding gives you space within your content. So now, which simply means it shows that if you give your element, say, a width of say 50 pixels, right? By the time you add border, padding, right, and even the margin, you will observe that it will the width of that element will appear to to have increased in size. So let's put it in practice what I have just described. Favor, I did my assignment, sir. I can show you. Okay. All right. Favor, um, I will give you the opportunity to show, right? But let me explain this because of over time. I don't want the class to go beyond 1 hour today. So don't worry, I will give you time to share your work. All right. So now let me open up um, the visual code. So let me just okay. I'm going to give you an assignment. Uh, I'm still thinking about the assignment I'm going to give you. Okay, let me just clear this. Open a new folder. Let me create a new folder here. Inside today's, yes, today is 5th. So box model. So I'm going to select that folder. The folder is empty. Now I will create a new file. I will call it index.html, right? So I can write. Okay, let me just do my what's it called? Um, Copy and paste my boiler. Although there's a shortcut of doing this, but I've forgotten that anyway. So let me just copy the boilerplate. So now let me create a div. A div. Now, if I run this, remember the div will not show anything there until it has content. Now let's give it a content of let me just say welcome to CSS class. Now I'm going to give this div some let's say a width. So let me put that inside the head. I'm going to insert my style sheet. So I will target that div and I will say width or say 400 pixel, right? Then I will give it a border so that we can see the region, the area covered by by a div. 1 pixel solid, and I will say for now black. For now black. So that is it. Now this is the area covered by the div. Okay, let me create another div. Let me give this an ID of what? ID of 1. I will create another div of ID 2. Then I need to change this one to target that ID of 1, right? Oh, okay. It's not accepting number. 2, 1. Okay. Now, just to create some level of difference between the two, let me give this also its own styling. So let me just copy this out. Then I can Let me change this one. Okay, let me put this one to 400 pixel too. And let me say this is red, just to differentiate the two. And let me create a space in between the two of them. Now, like I said, remember, this is your element. If you want to create space between two elements, you use margin there. So for me to create space here, it's either I will apply margin bottom to this element, or I will apply margin top to this element. So let me just apply margin top to the second div. So I will say margin top, say 40 pixel. So, and that we separate those two. Any question on how I got this? Any question?
No, sir.
Good.
No, sir.
Now, let me increase the size of this border to say 40 pixel. Okay, that's too much. Let me say, let me do 20 pixel. Okay, good. Now, look at this. You can see the size of this border here. I have 40 pixel at the top, 40 pixel at the on the right, 40 pixel at the bottom, and another 40 pixel on the left hand side. Now, if I decide, if for maybe for any reason, I do not want equal size for all the borders, yes, there's a way I can do it. Now, remember that the direction, if you write your property of margin, each value goes in a clockwise direction, clockwise. The top, the right, the bottom, and the left. So if I want to specifically give maybe the top a certain level of margin, which is different from others, what I will do is I will write my margin property, then the top, let's say I want to give the top 40 pixel. I want to give the right maybe 30 pixel. I want to give the bottom, say 20 pixel. And I want to give the left, say 10 pixel. Let us apply this to this div here. Let me clear my screen. So I will come here. I will say margin 40 pixel, then 30 pixel, then 20 pixel, and sorry, what am I doing? Border. I meant the border, yes. Then okay, yes, you can't do this to the border all at a go. You need to specify the border top, border right, and so on. But let's say with the margin, yes, that is very possible. So I want to give this 40 pixel, 40 pixel, 30 pixel, and 10 pixel here. So now at this top now, we have 40. Let me annotate. We have 40 pixel here, right? margin, we have 30 on the right, we have 20 here, and we have 10 here. Now, I want to say something here. Now, there's something called margin collapse. Margin collapse. Now, what is margin collapse? Let me clear my screen. Margin collapse is occurs when you have two elements, for example, right? And you decide to give a margin bottom here for this element, margin bottom, let me just say MRB of say 30 pixel, right? And you give margin top here for this element, say 40 pixel. Now, on a normal situation, you should expect a total margin in between these two elements of 70 because you have 30 pixel going down and you have 40% or 40 pixel up. So which should total up to 70. But that is not the case in reality. Now, what do I mean? Margin collapse set in. Margin collapse we take the smaller value and we apply that in between them, and this bigger one will be ignored. So what am I saying? Instead of having, say, a whooping of what 70 pixel in between these two, right? Due to margin collapse, you are going to have just 30 pixel here. So that is what margin collapse does. It will only recognize the smallest margin in between between the two, and it will take the smaller value between the two values. So that is, I want you to note that, because at times many years ago I got tripped. I was like, I had it 30 year, I had a certain level of margin bottom and margin top. I was expecting the total sum of those margins, but lo and behold, I was seeing the minimum value there. So until I now came across the margin collapse. So don't let that trip you off. Anytime you apply margin bottom and margin top, right, it will take the smaller value of the two. Let me clear my screen. Now, you can see, if you look at this other DVA, initially, notice that initially they have the same width of 400 pixel, 400 pixel. But by the time we increased the margin, this margin, by the time we increased it, you will notice that the size of this second one has increased, right? So it simply shows that, okay, before I point out the next salient point, let us apply padding to this second div as well. Let's say I want to give it a padding, all round padding of let's say 60 pixel. Now you can see that this padding has applied 60 pixel here, 60 here, 60 here, and 60. It's now, okay, let me just say this is your border. Let me create this border. This is your border, right? Now it has put now the what padding does is that it will push away the content away from this border, right? Let's say this is the content, it will push it away from this border here. Push it away. Push it away. Now don't mind this. This is happening because the content itself, the width of this content is not up to the width of the div, which is 400. That is why you are seeing more space here. If I continue to type, but by the time I type enough characters in there, you will see that the what's it called, the characters we now kind of either cut off or overflow at a certain point in time. Let me just type in gibberish stuff here. Let me see what this will give me. Now you can see it has gone to the next line. You can see. So now you can now see the effect of the padding now. This is we gave it a padding of what, 60 now. So we have 60 here pixel, we have 60 pixel here, we have 60 pixel here, we have 60 pixel there. So, and because we have added padding here and margin here, right, you will observe that the total width of this div has increased compared to the width of this other div here. And take note that initially we gave the two of them what, the same width, 400 pixel, 400 pixel. Any question on this concept? Any question on the concept?
One question. Is the margin collapse automatic, or do you have to write margin collapse in
It
one
is
of the?
automatic. It's automatic.
Okay.
Yes. We can even demonstrate it here. Let's demonstrate it. But is there any other question before I demonstrate the margin collapse? No question. Please, all element tags, they are always in a rectangular box. I love what Rashid did with the assignment. Now, if you want to do your layouts, always put a border around your element so that you can visually see how they are placed, placed on the browser. And the moment you can view or you can physically see how each of their location, then you'll be able to style your page properly. I hope that is clear enough. So let us quickly do demonstrate the margin collapse so that I can give Favor the chance to present the assignment. So let me remove padding. Yeah. Even okay, for now, let me remove this margin top. Then let me also remove this. Let me return this to 2 pixel, and let me remove this margin here. Then let me give this also 2 pixel. Okay. Now let's see. We want to give margin bottom to this. Say 40 pixel. Yes, it has gone down, right? Am I right? Am I
Yes, sir.
right? Good. It is expected. So now let us give margin top here of say margin top of say 100 pixel. Something it changed, right? Oh, something is wrong. Ideally, let me see. Ideally, it should. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me give this, or probably it will take the maximum value. Okay, hold on. Let me take this out first. Let me give this. Let me give this 100. Okay. Let me mark where it is. Okay, hold on. Maybe it will take the maximum. Okay. So now let us increase. Let us add imagine top margin top of say of 50, which is lower than the other one. Okay, yes. So that means it is not the minimum it will take as against what I said. If you remember, I said I initially said that it will take the minimum, but it is not the minimum. It will take the maximum value, as we can see. That is why it is good to demonstrate stuff. Now, this is a maximum value. This 100 pixel is bigger than this, right? And ideally, if there's no margin collapse, no, ideally we should have a total of what 150 pixel in between here, right? We should have this 150 pixel, but due to margin collapse, it has taken the maximum, the bigger value out of these two values, which in this case is what 100 pixel. Now let us do something again. Let me clear. Let me remove again so that we see what I'm talking one more time. Let me remove the margin from the two. Now let's give this a margin bottom of say 120 pixel. Now let us mark where we have this. This is 120. That's where. So let us give this the second one margin top of say 100 pixel. Now you can see that nothing changed, right? There's nothing changed. Now it shows that the margin collapse has just selected this value instead of adding 120 to 100 to give us what a value of total of what, 220 pixel in here. Instead of 220 pixel, we only have 100, sorry, 120 pixel. That is what margin collapse does. Now let us do another thing. Let's say we give the first one. Let me remove this. We give the first one say a margin of 20 pixel. Now let us mark where this is. By the time we give this second div a higher value of margin, it should take the higher value there. Let's say 100 pixel. So yes, you can see that it has taken the higher value of what 100 here. This is 100 pixel, right? As against the 120 pixel. So any question? Any question?
No, that makes sense.
Okay, good. So let me repeat. It with margin collapse, we take the bigger value, not the smaller value, as against what I said initially. So note that. But you will not have the total sum of the margin. You cannot have that. Margin collapse, we only pick the higher value and use that as margin in between the elements. All right. So, Favor, I'm going to give you opportunity now to share your work.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, but you are still very faint.
Oh,
Yes.
I really don't know what's wrong.
Aha, yes, it's better now.
Okay, it's better now.
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
So let me pause the recording now. Let me pause. Okay, so now having said this, you can decide, for example, if you want your what's it called? If you want to give your div or whatever element you are trying to style, if you want to give it, maybe you want to give one part of the div a certain border. For example, I want to make this this div element to only have a border on my left hand side. All I need to do is this. I will just say um, border left,
I
right?
can't see your screen.
Oh, sorry, I've not shared my screen. Thank you so much. Let me quickly share my screen. Where is it again? So it shows other people are not listening. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Aha, good. Now, this is what I was trying to explain. I said, let's assume that you want to give this div just a border on this left hand side, right? It's just for you to specify that's the border for that side only as shown here. Okay, let me remove the border left. No, initially I gave it all round border, as you can see. But now I just want that border to be on the left hand side. I'll just do border left. Then, yeah, as you can see, I have my border on my left. Now, because the content is too close to the border, that is the reason why I will say, okay, let me give it a padding left also of say 20 pixel, for example. So, and that will push away the content away from the border as shown. Any question on that? Any question? No question. So now, what is time now? This is okay, 8 past 9. Okay. Now, I, I will stop here, but in the next class, I will introduce the concept of what box sizing. Box sizing. Right. I will introduce that concept in our next class. Now, the assignments. This assignment is interesting. Let me share the outcome of the assignment. Yes. Now, I will show you the solution. Now, this is the solution, right? You are going to format at the same time style your page. Now, I want you to pay attention to, oh, let me see how I can do this thing. Can you see my cursor? Now pay attention to this, right? I want to see this, and you can see that there is a little space in between this and this this content here, and also notice that this other content, they are way kind of more indented than this other one, right? And also look at the address here. This address, you can see I gave it what is a color of green. You can give it a color of your choice, but I want you to format the assignment in this form. I will snip this. I will snip this what's it called, this page, so that you can use it to compare with your work. So now let me open the assignment. This is the assignment. You can see everything lumped up together. Everything is just like I just packed everything together. So style this content. You have to apply your HTML, because I want to see your ability to be able to use your H1 tag, your sectioning element, for example, the header element, which some of you have already started using, even the div, a section. You can use anyone, article, and so on and so forth. Even footer. Footer is also part of a section element, right? I want to see how you are able to apply your tags and also your CSS, right? If you compare this with what you have here, you can see that there's I used HTML to kind of add semantics to my content, and also I use CSS to style my content. Any question regarding the assignment? Any question?
Sir, please just to be clear, you want us to recreate this page, right?
I cannot hear you, please.
You want us to recreate this page as the
Yes,
assignment, right?
yes.
Okay.
I want you. I will share this with you. This I will share this with you. At the same time, I will share the snapshot of this page with you, everything here, so that you can use the snapshot of this page and format this to look like that.
Okay, sir.
So is it clear now?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay. I hope others do not have question on the assignment. So as you are formatting, pay attention to where the content begins and ends. For example, look at where this started from and where it ends, and look at the way I style this. Look at what I use there, and what I use there, and so on. And okay, for example, this one most likely to be H1, and this one most likely to be paragraph. I won't tell you the rest. So I want you to apply the element tags all by yourself. All I want to see is this output. So you format this assignment to look like this. All right. Thank you so much. See you on Saturday.